Hey, you, come on, sit down. You're sitting at the grown-ups table. I'm your host, Jesse Pimpinella, and as always, my partner in crime,
John Jacobs.
Thank you very much for joining us. So tonight we're back after a 2-week hiatus.
We're back.
Changed. I got married.
Jesse got married.
This guy married me.
I did, and I wore a bandana. I had long hair and my beard, and I checked several times. Everyone in his family was okay with it, so John went at his.
It was a COVID themed wedding.
And clean up my appearance, but Jesse and his now wife were totally okay with it, so we rolled with it. And it was a great time, Jesse. I do want to say thank you very much for allowing me to be a part of your wedding, to marry you and your wife, Sarah. I really do appreciate you guys putting me up in Youngstown for over the weekend.
We put you up in like the Hilton.
Dude,
great Youngstown.
Dude, it was nice. That hotel was nice. Like, the bathroom was awesome. The bed was comfortable. It was really fun, man. I had a really good time. I loved road tripping and up there. But ultimately, obviously, the highlight was the wedding itself and the honor that I had to help create and perform your service. And then after that, watching you and your wife just so happy, your family, both of your families supporting each other, everyone up having a good time. I know I broke out at the end when the lights went down and the dancing started, but I was exhausted, man. I had a long drive ahead of me that morning, so I figured my work is done. It's time for Jesse to enjoy his wedding and his family. So it was just a great time, man, and I just can't thank you enough for allowing me to be a part of that and do something special for you and your family. So
it was a beautiful day. No, thank you. It was the perfect day. It
really was. It was pretty crazy, man. We were mad dashing left and right to get stuff done, but
there was a lot of fun drinking early on. There was a lot of good times, great jokes. We kept calling the back room the backstage or the green room. Getting married.
The green room. We had
We all laughed when you started the wedding ceremony, because you were like, so what are you doing tonight?
I did, and I opened it up like a show. I was hoping one person would be like, yeah, from the back, like, that's my guy right there.
all the groomsmen went woo in the back.
Yeah.
You did get that. But for right now, because we're tight on time, I got to bring out our guest, all right?
Who's our guest, Jesse?
Who's our guest? Who was our guest? I don't know. Did we book anybody? Yes, we did. We did. We booked. This guy is an internet sensation. You better be following him everywhere. If you're not following him, that's a dang shame. Please give it up, Mr. Wild Charles, everybody. Woo! How are you doing?
Am I on here? Do you see me?
Buddy.
You're on.
All right. Here. What's going on, guys?
What's up, Charles? Woo!
How you doing? And look at that, Charles.
You
already got a fan, man. Darth, he's ready to see you, Charles.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm looking at the wrong screen. I'm looking at the other screen, and I'm kind of delayed. Where's the Streamlabs screen? Let me go back to that. Wait. I'm looking at myself. My mouth is like moving behind the rest of me, so I'm kind of like, what is going on with that?
There will be a little bit of a delay
here. Let me make sure that I got this shared also on my page here for you guys.
And we'll be talking about your page here in a minute. So while Charles shares his link, Charles is I don't even know how to describe what you do. Charles loves the outdoors. He loves adventure. He loves animals. And Charles literally travels the country and he meets some of the coolest people. He does the craziest stunts. He does crazy stuff with animals, but don't confuse him with the Crocodile Hunter or Jacques Cousteau or anyone like that, because Wild Charles is his own person.
I'd be honored if you confused me with the Crocodile Hunter, to be honest.
Hey, we all love Steve Irwin. Rest in peace.
I can't fill those shoes.
And Jacques Cousteau, man, I watched him as a kid.
Oh man, dude!
All the time.
I drove a place where there was actually like a little memorial. It's like for the manatees down in Florida, where he was like really instrumental in kind of bringing them back there.
Really?
Well, I mean, they're threatened, right? But there's a place, Crystal Springs, where I guess he really brought attention to kind of whole rejuvenation project there and stuff. So it's pretty cool to
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. But
once in a while, hang out a place that Jacques Cousteau might have been.
Hell yeah, man! How many people can say that they did that, right? I haven't done. I know Jesse's hasn't done it. So, but we're going to get into all of your cool adventures and everything here soon. But we wanted to kind of take a few minutes to explain who you are, what you do, and how the hell do we know you? So I'll start out. Because I'm pretty sure I've known you longer than Jesse has. Just saying.
Oh yeah.
Charles and I met 2014 at Comic-Con at a Bruce Campbell
event.
Man,
you know what? Like, I can't even believe I got a notification on Facebook how long it's been, and I'm just like mind blown. Like, it feels like yesterday.
It does. And it's so funny how we share the pictures and the experience back and forth. So long story short, if you've ever seen Bruce Campbell's live show, he brings people up from the audience to kind of craft the scene, act it out with his assistant, and then he does some comedy and some speech. So it's a very cool event. So Charles and I competed to be on stage, and who won that one, Charles?
For the life of me, I can't remember, man.
So, Charles
John Jacobs
yeah,
ruled the day on his acting ability.
Hey, I got to go up on stage, act with Bruce Campbell. He paid me $2 off of his
I was going against somebody with an IMDb page. I mean, what did you expect? I mean, that was seriously, I had no chance.
Because he asked me, he said, who are you and why are you important? And I was like, I've got an IMDb page. And he was like, sold.
I'm pretty sure he said with that and $1.50, I can buy a cup of coffee, but maybe my memory is wrong. But anyways, we're both huge Bruce Campbell fans. I grew up with watching, Army of Darkness and Briscoe County Jr. Speaking of cowboys, I got a cowboy named Briscoe County Jr. That was one of my favorite. It only lasted like one season. It was one of my favorite shows. So yeah, huge Bruce Campbell.
I know you love Briscoe County. So we talk about Bruce Campbell and Evil Dead like on every other show somehow.
Oh man, like you should.
But and then Charles and I relationship just kind of kept going after that. Through just harassing each other, hanging out, doing comedy. We did some
I hope we weren't harassing each other.
Jesse, though, how did you end up meeting Charles? Because you met him before you and I met, but then we kind of met at the same time, but we weren't really friends then. It's this whole like love triangle, basically.
Well, with me and him, there was a couple open mic grounds I would go out to perform before going out to clubs and doing shows. And I met Charles out there, and me and him, we sat and wrote jokes together and stuff, and it was a good time. And he was telling me a lot of the adventures that he went on. I'm like, no way. And like I checked that out on Facebook, they're like, oh!
Can you do that face and that sound one more time?
Oh! Dude, some of that stuff would scare me to death. I can't wait till we get to talk more about that.
Oh yeah.
Just I don't want to jump ahead of the interview, but yeah, we met through there, and you were doing stand up at the time. We were writing jokes about traveling and stuff like that. We were just and it was a good time, and
Jesse was tutoring me. He was teaching me.
He took you under his wing.
Secrets of stand-up comedy.
Look at him being all modest.
What do I know? What am I know? I am a freshman teaching an 8th grader. That's all I am.
But look how these people flock to you, Jesse. You're like gravity. We're like attracted to you.
I guess. I don't know. You guys are all making bad decisions. What can I say? You guys have a horrible taste in human beings. Trust me.
Now,
but anyways.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Anyways, I wanted to transition. I wasn't sure if what you were going to say. I don't want to cut you off, my good friend.
No. It's been 2 weeks, so we're probably talking over each other a little bit. We're a little out of the loop, of our little hiatus, but we'll get
excited. I mean, it's hard when you're in lockdown and you only get to see one person every once in a while on a video screen. You get excited. You get riled up. You're like, hey.
So Charles,
I'm not alone in the universe.
Yeah, we kind of want to give everybody an idea of really who you are, where you came from, that type of thing. So essentially, Charles was the 9-to-5er guy. He had the desk job and he was doing it, and you know, it just wasn't his thing. Charles' passion was more outdoors, more animals, more adventure, more living freely versus the machine of kind of corporate and like materialistic life, right? I'm trying to use words that Charles and I have these lengthy conversations about this, so I'm trying to use
stuck strapped to a desk. Yeah.
Chained to a desk. So what did you do a couple of years ago that was just amazing that not a lot of people are able to do? What did you do, Charles?
Well, I decided I was just I was already doing internet videos. I was already doing this stuff for fun. And I decided I was going to quit my steady job and go live in a van. Yeah.
And
so I decided to go live in a van because, you know, why not? So I left everything. And I got in the van.
How did that process? How did you process? Just because, like, I talked with many performers. That is not a lot of people understand how much of a huge jump that is to be here and then just totally to disattach, follow your dream, and bet everything on yourself. I mean, how did you process that?
At the time, I kind of saw it as like, you know, I'll probably have to go back and get a real job at some point, maybe, you know, but, you know, I wanted to travel anyway and try it out and see what happened. But I mean, I'm sure a lot of people thought I was crazy. And I think that I think I probably was crazy.
You need to be crazy.
Right.
You do. To be a performer, to be someone that puts himself in the spotlight, you have to have a certain degree of craziness because essentially as performers, we're all saying, hey, I got something that no one else has got.
Yep.
And I'm going to throw it out there, you know? And you do have something that nobody else has. And not a lot of people are brave enough to come out and do that. And you did it. And let me continue with your story. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to underline that what you did is an incredible thing.
Oh, thank you, Jesse. It's you know, it wasn't like a this. I mean, I wasn't rocketing up to like, hey, I quit my job and everything's great. You know, I was depleted on money and. You know, I went across the country and I was having incredible experiences. I was seeing cool sights, places I'd never been, you know, and places most people don't ever get to see. I got to go across this country to see all our national parks, most of our national parks. I'd never been to Texas. I spent a month in Texas. You know, I was out in the desert. Some of the time I was actually making videos and doing things productive, and other times I was just being creative, you know, and I would sit there and, you know, I stopped and I did stand-up comedy in Austin. It was Austin. Yeah. Was it Austin?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Austin.
It was Austin.
Yeah.
A couple different places and it was a really super creative time. But then in between, sometimes I was sleeping in Walmart parking lots, you know, and you know, Walmart, I mean, there's different types of Walmart parking lots, bro. Like there's some that you feel safer in, and there's some you're just like, nope. Man, I locked my door, but gee, man, like so.
As opposed to
you hear noises.
Door locked.
Forget the animals, like the dangerous animals. Walmart parking lots. That's where the real dangerous animals are. No, so sometimes I would camp out in the desert. Sometimes I would just be an itinerant. And I never knew how long I'd be in a place. I would just go from place to place, and I'd make some videos, and none of them really popped that much. And for the first few months, I was actually really running out of money by the end of it.
How long?
Actually, it wasn't really till really after I had come back to visit. I looped the whole country. I was on the road 7 months. 7 months living out of a camper van.
Yep.
I finally made it back. I broke down a number of times, and yeah, I mean, it was my 1993 Dodge Pleasureway van.
Dude, that van was awesome, man. It really was. It was like maroon red. Like, oh man, it was great.
And so basically, you know, I don't know. After I got back, that's when some of the stuff I didn't get back to where Ohio. I didn't go back to where I was before. I went to visit my family. I actually did some odd peer jobs. I was making, you know, just a few bucks here, like $12 an hour or something to pull out freezing piers and freezing cold. And then a couple of those videos popped. like a couple of those videos popped, and one of them went super viral, and grew a following where I grew a lot. I had already had a big following on Twitter, but I didn't make any money off Twitter. There's no, it was completely useless, you know.
I remember
in fact, yeah, if anybody wants to buy a blue check mark Twitter, like, you know, hit me up, because, you know, it's totally useless. I don't know what to do with it. Okay, you know,
I
but
love that. Just put a classified article out there saying blue check mark for Twitter.
Yeah.
Don't want it.
I'm sick of it. Like, oh, it's all politics and stuff anyway. It's not making me any money. Get it out of here. No, but seriously, a couple videos popped, and then I decided, okay, a couple videos popped. Let's do some more of this other stuff. I did some other stuff where I was doing more commentary on videos and kind of interacting and explaining different videos at kind of a animal viral best of the week kind of stuff. And that stuff popped, and I didn't have enough money to go to Australia, and had enough money to go to Mexico. Still living out of the van.
Now, what was the video that popped? What were you doing in that video, if you remember?
We got in the water with a 1,000-pound alligator.
Was that the one with the selfie stick? That one?
Yeah, the alligator almost got the selfie stick. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was the first big one that popped, and then there have been many others since. But actually, I just posted a Bigfoot video this week. I know it's like 8 million views already, or something like that.
Awesome, man!
I'm in a Bigfoot costume feeding alligators, which is, if you guys want to check that out afterward, go ahead and check that out.
Real quick, let's jump over to field a couple quick questions that we have, or comments. So number one, we got some good fans. Darth is joining in. Nigel wants to throw in a woo to you.
What's that? Woo?
Woo. Yeah, he wants to throw a woo to you. Who's this Charles guy? All right, Tom's a Weisenheimer today.
Well, hopefully we explained it to Tom. So
yes.
Oh, there you go. There's the comment from Nigel right there. I remember when Twitter was useful. Yeah, like when Charlie Sheen was on it, and then that was about it.
Yeah, when Tiger Blood was it Tiger Blood? That's what it was. I was getting.
Yeah,
it was 100% Tiger Blood.
Melting down on Twitter. Yeah, that's
when Twitter used to be about celebrities, you know, about things that matter, you know. You know, now it's about politics and fighting with each other, and I don't know if the celebrities ever mattered, but it used to be about, you used to follow for celebrities. Remember that? Do you remember that?
Do you remember the Twitter games?
But now
Twitter games where it would be like cook a movie, and you have to make a pun with the movie that involves cooking. You know, like Terminator 2, Pasta La Vista, baby.
Oh, gotcha.
Like there's like these Twitter games that I enjoy, but now you don't see Twitter games anymore. No, nowadays you see someone and you're like, it's a celebrity, and you're like, oh God, are they in jail or dead? And it's like, like, yes, they saved the
yeah. Honestly, Jesse, I think you were on Twitter before me. I think you beat me to Twitter, Jesse. Like, I think,
but you mastered it.
Yeah, for what?
I mean, you got a check mark, Charles.
It's completely
Jesse doesn't have a check mark. You do.
I love my Twitter followers too. The guys on Twitter are some of you guys are cool when you're not trying to beat heads over the political thing of the day.
And that's one of the amazing things, or that what you do, it's fun. It's like it's a good time to watch. There's nothing that it allows you to escape out of what's happening around here.
Oh yeah,
When you make videos, do you do that with the intent to help people escape, or when you make a video, like what is the intent behind you? Like, how do you decide this is what I want to make a video?
Honestly, making the videos was just something that I wanted to do anyways. So I wanted to do the thing anyways, and then I just made the video about the thing, and I was hoping that if I could make videos about the thing, I would be able to afford to do more of the things. So that's pretty much what it is. I mean, it's just an excuse to do what I wanted to do anyway.
What would you say has been the most challenging video to shoot?
This will be good. Was it when you scuba dived with all those sharks?
That would freak me out.
Depends on what kind of challenge you challenging me not on that. Was there intimidation factor there? Yeah, I mean they're tiger sharks. They'll swim up to you and they'll take a little bite out of you, figure out what you are.
Like, yeah, they're tiger sharks.
What's the matter with you? Of course, they're sharks.
Right, of course.
The hardest one to. I mean, that's a hard question. I mean, there's lots of times where it's just hard from a camera perspective. That doesn't necessarily mean it's the most, you know.
What would you say is hard for you as a performer? Something you had to, was it like a fear that you might have had to overcome, or nerve?
So when I did do the Stingray one, I was freaked.
Ooh,
and it's because that's how Steve died, and so that was dicey. Like, get closer, get a shot, and like, yeah, no, I mean. And the water was really murky. The water was really murky, so there's actually 2 stingray there. And if you get too close to them, they can get kind of a little territorial on what they're doing. And you definitely don't want to bump into one and not know it's there. So that was dicey. That was dicey because it was really murky water. It didn't make the best video, honestly, because the water was so murky. But the whole time you're kind of like...
you got to do it, man.
Yeah.
That's what you're there for, right?
Yeah,
I mean, they're cool animals. I mean, it was cool to do, and Australia was amazing and absolutely incredible, and I can't wait to go back.
I'm jealous you got to go, to be honest. So all your pictures and posts, I'm just like, I hate you, Charles.
Yeah.
Was there any animals that you saw in Australia where you were like, oh yeah, this is what it's been all about? You know, for me, if I got to see a kangaroo, I would.
No, the kangaroos are awesome. Here's the thing, bro. The kangaroos are everywhere. They're like rabbits, man. You'll see them like every 10, like they just run across the road, like they're just, and they're on the road as roadkill. They like, you know how we like in the northern states they have deers that get hit, right? And you have in Australia most of the car accidents are just the kangaroos. They're causing all kinds of road damage because the kangaroos will just run across them. Like, oh my Lord, that's almost as big as a person, you know. I mean, it's like and can you imagine? You know, so what they do is they actually put bars on the front of their vehicles, and they'll put bars on the front of the vehicles just in case you want to. In case not you want to hit a kangaroo, in case you do hit a kangaroo. I don't know. Maybe there are some people that want to hit a kangaroo. Maybe I'm sure there are somewhere out there, but like, I'm not one of them. But like the bar. Apparently it's to protect. It's like to protect, to make sure that, you know, if you hit a kangaroo, you're prepared. You know, be prepared for the kangaroos because they're all over there. Like literally, you see them everywhere. They're just tons of them. You know.
That's
they're dime a dozen.
That's wild because we don't perceive that. But you made a great analogy between rabbits and deer because we look at that as just normal. And I'm sure in Australia they're just like, oh yeah, that's
no, it is just normal. It is just normal. And in fact, they're actually, I think they pay people to actually come and when they want to reduce the populations, they'll actually shoot the kangaroos from the road.
Yeah, they do that with deer here.
Well, it's like deer hunting. It's like deer hunting where they're trying to diminish because they run through it. Now it's the kangaroos' domain. I feel bad for the kangaroos on that. We also saw one that had gotten hit, unfortunately, who was injured on the side of the road and was dying. It's not like those kangaroos are all over the place out there. But sometimes kangaroos don't get along.
Sure.
Yeah, I remember that video of the kangaroo that was hurting the dog, and then the guy got in there and saved the dog. Did you see that video?
Well, wasn't there
what video?
There's a video where the kangaroo was putting a dog in a headlock.
Oh yeah, the guy that punched the kangaroo. Yeah. The guy he punched it, tried to save the dog. That one. Yeah. So yeah, I remember when that one went viral. I was over at it was Jake Paul's house, and Jake Paul wanted to do a video with the kangaroo because that was going viral, and he asked me, he was like, you know where you can get a kangaroo? And I'm like, dude, I'm not going to get a kangaroo for you punch him.
Right.
Like, we're not going to really punch the kangaroo, and he was actually like, no, I'm not going to punch a kangaroo. I might just pretend. I'm like,
I'm going to pretend.
I didn't get him a kangaroo, but like that was at the time. It was viral.
Real quick, there there's a question that was brought to the comment section, and I want this question to be answered because what you do is very different from everything else. But because the question is, what are the goals with your videos? The educational or the type where you're there just to say, oh, this is this animal? Like, what are the goals?
Give me 1 second. I'm trying to do not disturb. Okay. Getting a lot of pings during this interview.
Good.
No, my videos are both. So obviously there's the, hey, you want to watch this kind of entertaining aspect to the videos, but I do tons and tons of Q&As, live Q&As, keeper talks, animal Q&As, lots of facts, lots of information being shared. And I do a lot of the videos you'll see actually where we're jumping on alligators, we're catching alligators, we're trying to do something. There's a purpose behind it. We take and catch those alligators and we medicate those alligators. Those alligators at times sometimes will be bit by other alligators. We'll have to treat wounds. So there's a purpose behind everything that I do. So there's both elements of the educational, the entertainment, because what kind of crazy people are going to jump on alligators and catch them anyway?
Exactly.
And hopefully it's a good mix of both.
And there has to be an entertainment value because, I mean, at the end of the day, you want to have fun with this. I mean, this is an incredible job that you get to have and perform, and and it's not something that usually anybody does. And then when you get to do it, you really, I mean, it's a dream. I would say you're living a dream.
Absolutely.
No. I don't know. Maybe one of those crazy dreams where it doesn't quite make sense, and you're kind of like, what in the world's going? No, I mean, I love doing the stuff. I love doing the stuff. I think the doing the videos when they're being filmed, that's not work so much for me. That's the hard part is people think that they see people that do like internet videos and they think, oh, it's easy. You're just going to, they think they're Kim Kardashian. You post a couple things, you're going to make $50,000 bazillion dollars and you're good to go. But like the thing with me is like after I film, I'm editing, I'm planning new things, I'm reaching out to people. I'm my marketing guy. I'm my stunt guy. A lot of times I'm the editor because by the time I explain how I want it edited to somebody else, I might as well have just already edited it.
Sure.
And sometimes I'm vlogging. I'm my actual camera guy. When it's time to pay the bills, I'm the accountant guy. And so I get up and I start. There's a lot of days where I just get up and all I do is something related. Posting on different platforms. You got Facebook, you got TikTok, you got this, you got this, you got this, you got this. And there's some days where I just wake up and it's early morning to nighttime, it's just steady work. I don't think about like clocking in and clocking out. When I'm tired, I go to sleep and I stop working. When I wake up, I'm doing it again. So it's a lot of work. I mean, I like the stuff I do, but there's definitely a side where I think people don't realize that you're always on with this kind of stuff. And it's not just like with animal videos, any kind of like the internet medium. With the algorithms, they favor more over less. So you're constantly cranking out stuff. And if you slow down, you start to drop out that algorithm a little bit. Yeah. And so if you're doing great, you want to crank out as many videos as you can. If you're not doing great, you want to crank out as many videos as you can.
Right.
And so sometimes, man, it's a lot of work. That's the only thing I would say that it's a lot more work than the fun stuff you guys get to see. The fun stuff you get to see, and then hey, he swam with the anaconda or got to catch those alligators. That's the fun stuff. Yeah. But there's tons of it. So the funny thing about it is I escaped my desk job and I actually spend almost as much. I actually spend more time now in front of the computer than I did then. So
yeah. Now I do before we transition into some of the other stuff that you've done, like the adventure stuff and the stunts and exploration, I do want to bring up probably, in my opinion, my favorite thing that you ever did. And that was when you went out to California and you willfully got into one of those natural pools with a giant anaconda for, what was it, about 30 minutes or so? That was probably the coolest thing. Like, you've done so much, but that to me was just like, you walked into this natural pool and just started playing with this anaconda that was 5 times the size of you. It was wrapped all around you.
I remember watching that.
And you were just, the look on your face, You were loving life, man. So how was that experience being in that pool with that giant snake and just like being so calm and relaxed and enjoying your time with that animal?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's incredibly strong, powerful animal. It's I guess the thing about it is it's humbling because, like, you know, you have an animal wrapped around you that could literally kill you. If it wanted to kill me, it could kill me. It's not about my manliness or anything like that. It just didn't want to kill me. If it really wanted to, it could wrap around me and hold me underwater. I could drown fairly easily. And so the thing is, getting to work with that animal, and also that's an animal that has been worked with, and you can see how you can work with an animal. You can build a kind of connection with an animal, right? You know, and so I mean, it was incredible. I mean, it's incredible, but it's also like I did have another guy there who was my camera guy for that, where he had worked for Discovery Channel and stuff. And if things went wrong, hopefully he could pry the snake off. Hopefully. But I mean, I did stuff that was, I mean, you're taking a gamble on it, and everybody has bad days. You know, even an animal that is the most, you know, tempered animal, where you think you like, we have alligators where there's an alligator that I work with. His name's Casper. Pretty friendly alligator. So Casper the friendly alligator, right? You know, he's had days where he's opened up his mouth and kind of hissed at me, you know, and it kind of, and so everybody, the nicest person you know has that day where they're just like, screw everybody. And with an animal, you don't want to be on the other side of that. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And there's instinct too, where it might just kick in, and one time you just say, I had this habituation. I used to do this. But you know what? Instinct overrode, and you're in a world of trouble. So, like, I mean, I always know that, like, with the stuff that I do, where that I might die, I might get seriously injured, and I might get screwed up. I might lose fingers. The guys that I was catching alligators with, if you check out the video with Colorado Gators catching up the alligators, the one's missing a thumb, the other's missing a finger.
Yeah.
So, and their fingers are in jars at the end of the video if you want to check it out. This is real. I mean, this is real. This is real stuff. I mean, it's not. I've been lucky, but like so far, and then, you know, maybe later on you watch this and you're like, well, he wasn't lucky at this time, you know. and the reality is it's a lot of times it's you know, dismemberment, life and death kind of stuff. But I mean, I guess you just kind of like, I just accept that, you know. That's how I want to live my life. You know, I like the thrill of the fact that I might die. I mean, that's something that makes me feel more alive, you know. If I didn't have that thrill and that risk, I wouldn't feel that, you know. I'd feel, you know, I wouldn't be happy. So
let's take that, and because I want to talk about all the non-animal adventures and things that you've done.
Okay.
But the first one I want to talk about that I think everybody would be really excited about is you, Charles, tried out for Survivor.
Yeah, I didn't make it. They didn't put me on there.
Experience.
They didn't put me on there.
Trying out for Survivor go?
Oh man, they didn't put me. I went out and I tried. I went out to they were doing a casting call for Survivor, so I went out. It was where was that? I'm trying to remember where that was.
Florida or something?
No, it was on an island up by Cleveland. It was in Lake
like
Michigan. It was
or like Put-in Bay or something like
Put-in
that.
Bay. It was Put-in Bay. Yeah, I got on a barge. I went out to the island, you know, to audition for, and I got up there. I got about 20 seconds, and they're like, "Get the heck out of here!"
Wait. So what was the experience like? How long did you have to wait? How long was the line? What was your audition like? Like, tell us about it. No one here is auditioned for Survivor, and we all want to know.
Yeah, we want to know this process.
It's a long line. A lot of people. The people in line are kind of fun. You know, you can goof around a little bit playing games, and the one I did a couple of arm wrestling matches to try to win spaces up further in the line.
Did
you know,
you win?
I did it. I lost, man.
Charles,
I think I did win.
Charles, you take pictures with Hulk Hogan showing off your guns with him. How did you not win?
I don't know if I won or not. I don't remember. It's so long ago. Like I could see myself losing.
I think
it's funnier if I lose.
I just love how there's this audition kind of culture that exists, like where it's like, no, there are no rules and no laws in line except the sacred arm wrestling. Everything is handled with arm wrestling. Like it's like always the end scene from Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone. like, oh man, those two are getting mad at
maybe
each
you can
other.
just arm wrestle to get on Survivor. Maybe yeah.
That's what you need to do. That would be a great video. Purposely go to the back of the line, arm wrestle yourself to the front, and you just be like, I beat them all.
So when you waited in this huge long line, you finally got up to audition. Was it like a table with a bunch of like producers and casting directors and stuff, and you just had to like
be table with some people sitting at it, and then they sit at it, and then they also record it, and then that's it. And then you're gone, and it's the next person. I mean, it's not.
But what did they ask you? Like, how do you audition? Like, how does that happen once you get to the table? What is that?
Tell us about yourself and why you should be on Survivor.
That's
pretty
it?
much. That's what they do.
Wow.
That's pretty much what they do. They pretty much say, why should you be on Survivor? And they give you a lot of time. It might be a minute or something, or like to do your spiel. And they might ask you a couple questions, and then they say, all right, thank you. Get the heck out of here so we can get to the next person, because there's 1,000 people in line that want to be on Survivor. So,
Would you ever try out for Survivor again? Because you might run a better chance of getting on this time if they see you from a time before. Right?
Yeah. If I'm not going to try out for Survivor, if they want to come and call me up, they can.
Oh, look at that. He's like, I'll do if they ask me, but I'm not going to audition again. Look at you. That's like an actor that no longer has to audition. They just get scripts sent to them. They're like, please be in my movie.
No, I'm like an actor that they never hired. I had to make my own show. That's how bad it was.
Survivor missed out. I started my own show.
Nobody wanted me.
Jesse, there is a comment from Ryan Francis that we need Charles to see.
Okay. I missed the surfing. I was doing a Wendy taste test.
So, Charles, tell us about the time you went surfing. Because
I went surfing this morning.
That was awesome. No. I'm talking about your first time that you did a video about surfing. I know you've gotten better since then, but how was that first time surfing?
No. It's like when I was going across the country for the first time. I ended up I was in that van. I ended up at the beach, and I found out. Guess what? There's a lot of surfers living in vans too. So I made good friends with them, and all they do is they go out and they surf. And that's what they do. I mean, they a lot of them live in vans, and they just live at the beach. And so I did that for a couple weeks, and I took some lessons, became friends with the person who taught me, and I wiped out a lot. I wiped out. It was so bad. It was so bad that Facebook demonetized that video. That must have been an incredible wipe.
Yeah.
No, they said it was sensitive content, not suitable necessarily for all. It was that bad. It was
hilarious.
Brutal.
Wow. I didn't know they demonetized it. Wow.
I never heard anybody
get it's all automated. I don't know.
Sure. Hey, Jesse, real quick, we got a question about your shirt. Throw that comment up there. Somebody really likes
Tony. This is one of my dudes, man. I see him every time I'm in Youngstown. I see him in the comedy club.
Ooh,
the 80-year anniversary.
There we go. 80 years, The Dark Knight. Now,
man, dude, you know what? I haven't. I just recently watched The Dark Knight, man. The whole Nolan series. I hadn't watched it till this year, 2020. I couldn't go anywhere. And I had a friend who actually had it, so we were watching, spending some time watching some movies, and we're under lockdown. We had curfews. We couldn't go out after. We couldn't order pizza at 9 p.m. in Miami. So it was bad. So couldn't eat the pizza while watching The Dark Knight, but we did watch, and I watched those. Oh my God, dude, those are the best freaking movies, man.
There we go. He was blown away.
Whoa.
Captivated.
Oh man, dude, those movies are just. Anyway.
And yet no one understands how good the writing is in that movie, because The Dark Knight, that movie alone, they took 3 complicated storylines from the comic books and they combined them to make that movie. And when you read each individual comic book, which is The Killing Joke, of The Long Halloween, in the second half of year one, they're very different. And the Nolan brothers, they took it and made it into one fluid story, and it just blew me away.
Yeah.
And that's the movie.
It's really well done. It's so well done that I don't really look forward to any other Batmans.
There you go. That's the pinnacle right there. There you go.
I did see the Joker, the most recent Joker, and that was incredible for a different reason. But that was no. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't see like it's almost like, well, you did it so well. You did it so well. I mean, you can tell other stories. Now, don't get me wrong. You can tell those stories. I mean, you got the Ben Affleck app. I guess you do have Batman after that. But nah.
Oh, I love Ben Affleck.
We like Batfleck.
Here's the
do
thing.
You?
Here's the reason why. He's
not horrible, but I mean, he's not.
He is the Frank Miller's Batman. See, I read enough comics to the point where you have different authors for different Batmans. So each movie kind of piggybacks off of a specific author of Batman. For this case, Bale, I'm trying to figure out which Batman I would say he is. I think the closest one is Loeb. Joe Loeb. He did The Long Halloween. That is the closest I think they get to his Batman. Even though it's not so detective-y, there's still this kind of bravado that fits that. While Ben Affleck's is a 50-year-old Batman who's jaded and bitter from being Batman and is more dark. So, like, I always find it difficult to compare Batman actors because it's almost like you got one Batman actor who is acting from the ages of 25 to 35, and then you got another one that's 40 to 55. Yeah. And it's like, ask anybody, no one who's 40 is the same person they were when they were 20. But that's just my thoughts on it. But
yeah, no, I see that. I can see that. I mean, he's not bad. He's not. I'm not saying I hate it. It's just like some of the movies, the storyline. I mean, you got Batman versus Superman and stuff, and I don't know. Some of the stuff.
That's a whole other episode.
That's a whole other episode which we can bring you on.
I'm glad to see him doing it, but I don't. Sure. Now, who do you got? You got a new guy that's going to be Batman. Like
Arpat, man. Arpat from Twilight. He's nailing it. Arpat. Dude,
I don't know if I'm going to see that. It's too many Batmans too soon, and like one of them did it so well. Why? I mean, those movies were a long time ago, though. But I just watched them this last year, so they're new to me. I just saw them, so I'm just like this. Like, oh, that's good. Talk to me in 10 years, and I'll watch another Batman.
Now, I want to keep up. Hold on. I want to keep up with the hero theme, but I want to transition it to something else that you did for charity, Charles. And what was that?
Rappelled off a building? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, and everybody wore different superhero costumes.
I actually helped Batman rappel off a building. There was a guy who was actually out in a Batman costume, and I belayed him. I was down at the bottom and helped.
Now, weren't you in the Spider-Man costume when you did it off of like some bank skyscraper?
I didn't do Spider-Man. I did help Spider-Man too. I helped Batman. It's you do what you got to do,
But I mean, this was like a 100-story
I was all in black, and I was doing more of a Tom Cruise kind of like thing. I had some sunglasses on, and I was just like trying to do the Mission Impossible kind of like, I got to take this drive, and I got to rappel down a building.
What was it like rappelling down a gigantic skyscraper like that? I mean, that had to have been nerve-wracking, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, like the one thing I am afraid of is heights. So, heights actually do scare me. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I did it a couple times, so I mean, you get used to it. Sure. But it's fun. I mean, but as long as it doesn't start going really, really fast, and you think you're going to hit the ground. I mean, you got to control your descent and everything. You know.
Now, speaking of heights, you also have done skydiving.
Yeah.
So for someone who's afraid of heights, you jumped out of a plane, man.
Oh yeah, because that was the most terrifying thing I could imagine. Probably.
There we go. There it is. Yeah. So how was that experience?
I used to have nightmares about like falling off an airplane. Like
really?
That was like serious, scary stuff for me to
But you did
do.
You did it.
Yeah. Yeah. I was basically like, you know what? I'm probably dead, but let's try this.
Do you find that when you do certain activities that you beat the fear? Do you feel that when you do these activities that you no longer fear them anymore, or do you still have a healthy degree of fear?
Well, so the weird thing about skydiving is I was really freaked out up in the plane. I was like, my instructor didn't think I would jump.
Oh, wow.
He thought I was going to back out. But I said, you know, I'm going to do it. And I jumped. And the weird thing is, once I was in free fall, 100% calm.
Really?
Just the most calm I've ever felt in my whole life, honestly.
Wow.
Just 100% calm.
Really?
Peace, just focused, 100% flow. And I didn't feel any fear at all. It was just gone. As soon as I jumped, all I just thought about was, okay, I'll pay attention to my altitude, do everything that I trained to do, and pull my parachute when I was at the right altitude, you know, and then try to land myself, you know. So, yeah, no, I mean, does that mean I won't be scared next time? I probably will be, but I have a little bit more context for it. Yeah, I don't think the fear of heights doesn't completely go away. It doesn't completely go away. I mean, you're always going to have some fear, but I think in some of the most dangerous situations, I just get kind of calm afterward. Like I might have an apprehension before. The animal stuff, I don't even know. I once in a while, I get scared. Once in a while, it's not.
I think when you're in the moment, there's a certain degree of instinct that takes over that serves you. You know, like for me, even though I'm not comparing to jumping out of an airplane. You know, doing stand-up, you know, when I have a big show to do, there's a certain degree of fear that I have before going on stage. But when they say my name and I hold the mic, it's gone. I'm focused. I got this.
You're in your zone. You're ready to go, man. You own it, man. It's like that, and that's good, man, because I don't know, man. Like I think stand-up in some ways it's real. I mean, that's a nerve-wracking thing, man. I mean, to have everybody out there and you're trying to make them laugh and you're standing in front of them, and there's a lot of I mean, like the first couple times I did that, I was pretty nervous even through it. I mean, I never got that skydive calm. I mean, I did later on. I got a little more comfortable, right? But not on the first. Not just like you jumped and you did it. You know what I mean? It was more like that's more of like I feel like you got to push through that, but maybe not because you're a natural, Jesse.
I try to be. Yeah. And I think one of the things I like about comedy is that there is a ton of room to fail. Like a lot of people, they try to be perfect at open mics, and I tell them like, no, don't try to be perfect right now. Try to do something risky. Try to do something dangerous. Try to do something that puts you in a very uncomfortable situation, because sometimes you will discover something great, like a butterfly breaking from a cocoon. It's going to struggle its way out, but when it gets its wings out, boom, it's a beautiful thing.
Jesse with the metaphors, man, that was beautiful. Oh my God.
Yeah. There's a lot of material that I took risks and was uncomfortable talking about, like my past, my childhood, my relationship with my father, which is sometimes it's not a great topic, but when I get on stage, I hit those laughs. I'm like, all right, there it is. And I used to tell myself no one would laugh at this, and then they did. So you have to risk it. You got to risk it, and that's how you just like with what you do when you get into the water with a giant python, or if you're jumping on an alligator. You know, there is this certain degree of you got to do it. You just have to, and it feels great.
Now you're committed to it, and at this point, you just got to roll with it. Like I think I don't know. It's just one hard thing about doing your own thing, whether that be, you know, doing the stuff that I do, is doing the stuff that you guys do. I mean, a lot of times you do stuff and you throw yourself out there and it just doesn't freaking work. And and you kind of gotta like I said, it wasn't. I mean, this is a roller coaster, man. I don't even know why. I'm surprised I'm still doing videos at this point. I thought it would be over, and every time I think it's almost over, then I hit another thing, and it's just going for a while longer, you know. And I'm enjoying the ride and stuff. But the thing is, there's a lot of things that I do, and I was like, if I would have done this way, or this way, or this way, or this way, or this way. And you just don't know, and you just go out and you just try to do stuff, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it just doesn't freaking work. You know,
you chose to live the highly unobserved life, which is not the easy route or the safe route, or you chose to live the life that you said, you know, this has got to be my life. I got to enjoy it. I got to love it. I want to look back 50 years ago and go, dang, that was a great ride, and I will do it again. And it seems like that's the ride you signed yourself up for. I mean, you're sitting in this hotel room, you're smiling, just thinking back about these stories. You're having a good time doing it, and like I said, you work day and night, and you say you probably work harder than when you were at the desk job.
I work a lot harder, way harder. Yeah, it's like I have 4 jobs. Like because
you love this. Like this, you love this. This is like as serious as breathing for you, you know, because this is your passion.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, I some days I don't love it as much. I'm like,
hey, that's okay. That's okay.
But the thing is, like, it's what I do, you know. It is kind of like you said, it's like breathing. Sometimes I don't want to get up out of bed either, but I gotta wake up and do it. And so, yeah, it would be really hard for me to go back to sitting in a desk job at this point. With a boss. I mean, I still sit at a desk a lot of time. I do a lot of editing. I do a lot of stuff online. It requires, like, believe it or not, but I do get those moments where I'm doing the really cool swim with the alligators and all that cool stuff. And I get to plan it. It's really cool seeing it grow. It's really cool seeing that this is something I built, you know, and that's what's cool about it. I get a kind of like, it's a satisfaction of seeing, hey, I grew it to this level, you know. That's something I did. I didn't have a production company. I didn't have TV people behind me. I didn't have nothing, you know. I just did it, and so that's really cool. But you also just there's that work, and so you got to pay the price. I mean, if you want to pay the price, you pay the price. Sometimes the price is really high, though. So you know.
Sure.
But you know, something.
Oh, go ahead. I was gonna tell Charles. I was gonna make a deal with him. Okay.
I was just gonna say, when you do Swing Your Love, you'll pay that price.
There you go. And Charles, I'm gonna make a deal with you because I've always wanted to go skydiving, but I've never done it yet. So here's the deal: if and when, not to say if, I'll say when you come back to Ohio, I will go skydiving with you, Charles, because I've wanted to do it my whole life and I've never been able to do it. You conquered your fear and did it, and that inspired me, and I want to do that with you next time you're in Ohio.
We'll look into it, man. We'll look into it.
Absolutely. So we've only got a few minutes left because Charles is actually debuting a brand new video, and we take some time to talk about that before we end the show. Charles, what's in this new video coming up at 8 o'clock?
At 8 o'clock, it's Turtle Man. The legendary Turtle Man himself from Animal Planet. Yee live action. Turtle Man is teaching me how to catch snapping turtles without looking, feeling around in the mud with them.
That sounds really frightening. Because
taking a finger off. If you want to check that out, us swimming around, it's preparing in 5 minutes. You can go out and you can go follow that and check that out. And it's been awesome, man. It's been awesome hanging with you guys. I got a ton of new videos coming out. That should be pretty cool. And yeah, just keeping on.
I've got one last question, Charles. Yeah. One last question, and you know it's coming. What was your experience with Dr. Bhagavan Antle from Tiger?
I actually never went to his place.
But wasn't there like a conversation betwing you guys, or you were going to work?
I've never had a conversation with Doc at all. I don't know. I don't really get into that. Like I don't like I tend not to like try to judge people on anything. No. In general, I tend to be against the cub petting when people don't take care of the cubs, because the thing is, like, what happens is there's a bunch of people who will take cubs and they'll just use them for money and they'll throw them away. I'm not saying anybody. I'm not going to point out saying this person's doing this person, this person. But there are people doing that, and so the thing is, I've been to rescues where they have 500 cats, and like, what are you going to do, like, in that situation? Believe it or not, with Tiger King, stay tuned, because there's going to be something related to Tiger King.
Oh,
wow! Somebody. So I'm not going to give any kind of thing, but
I'm excited. I'm excited to see you planted the seed for me. I'm excited.
Oh yeah, yeah. You'll know. Yeah. So, because I do want to talk about some of the cub petting and what happened to the animals and in it from that perspective. less of Joe's antics and stuff, but more of like, well, what happened to the animals, and what in there are situations where you know, they crank out tigers and they don't have good places to go. And then there's other situations where rescues still got to have these animals, because once they're associated with people, they can never be in the wild. That's one thing that they don't do very well on Tiger King's saying is like, well, the animals are still at a rescue, they're not in the wild. Well, the thing is, once they associate people with food, they're a danger. They're going to chase after you, just like the bears know that you're associated with food. They can never be in the wild. They've not learned the hunting skills and things like that. So I do think that there's a place for breeding and keeping animals in captivity in zoos, and breeding populations to keep them alive, because the reality is the habitats are going away. Humans are destroying the habitats, and there's fewer and fewer places where you can have like them out in the wild. So I would rather see them in captivity than not exist. You know what I mean? And maybe we can do some things to change the environment where we can do breeding programs and help restock them. The way tigers are often being bred right now is, unfortunately, is they're doing mix and match stuff and doing genetics that don't even exist in the wild. So you release the tiger that's down the road at the rescue, say, I want that tiger in the wild. You put it, it's not the same genetics. It would mess up the wild population genetics. It's not what needs to be in the wild. That particular rendition of tiger doesn't exist in the wild. It only exists in captivity. And you know, so there's a lot of interesting stuff like that. And I am actually going to do a video on that, and it's coming, and it's going to be with someone from Tiger King, so you can check that out when it comes out.
Well, I'm really excited to see it, and I know that you love and respect animals. That's really why we kind of did this, and it's all about responsibility and caring for the animals and doing what we can to help them, not necessarily to exploit them. But to your point, that's not what we're here to discuss. So we've only got a minute left. You've got to jump over to your debut video with Turtle Man, which we're all excited to check out. Charles, do you have any last words before we let you go move on to hosting your video?
Congrats on the marriage, man.
Oh, hey, thanks. Appreciate it, man.
Congrats on marrying this guy. You guys, good job. Awesome. Thank you so much for having me on the show. You guys have been awesome, and I hope I get the chance to come hang out again too soon.
Charles, thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. I know you're a busy guy. I know you got a lot going on. I appreciate you taking the time to come talk to us and all of our crazy antics, and being on our show back from our 2-week hiatus. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You're a great friend, Charles. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll see you guys.
All right, man.
All right, take it easy, man. Take it easy. All right, that was Charles, everybody. Be sure to check out Wild Charles tonight, 8 o'clock. Go to Facebook. Go everywhere. Check it out. It's going to be a great time. Follow him. His videos still just amaze me how cool they are and what they do.
We'll share the link on our page.
We'll share
right now. We'll share the live video on our page. That way you guys can jump over and check it out and show some support to Charles. Really great guy. You guys heard of all the cool stuff that he does. He loves animals. He appreciates animals. It's not for the exploitation for him. It's because he loves the outdoors and he loves that connection. So Charles is a great guy. I'm so glad he was able to be on the show.
Well, I just want to give a quick shout out to Nigel, Darth, Tom, Ryan, and Tony for throwing in your comments. Thank you so much. And as always, I want to give a shout out to our credit Smash Rolling for graphic designs. Thank you to our producer Vance, and thank you the fans for listening. Be sure to catch us next week, because next week I believe we're doing something kind of fun.
I'll let the cat out of the bag. We're doing Thanksgiving next Wednesday. Woo! If you don't know what Thanksgiving is, it is the best low-budget horror movie ever made, and also dealing with the Thanksgiving holiday. Star Ryan Francis, who played Darren the Nerd and who starred on Thanksgiving the Musical playing that same role, will be on the show with us next Wednesday, 7 p.m. Bring your questions, because we're going to talk about low-budget filmmaking. We're going to talk about Thanksgiving. We're going to talk about where Ryan has his roots in filmmaking and performing, just like Jesse and I do. And we're going to have a great time talking about a murdering turkey the night before Thanksgiving. So you won't want to miss it. Check us out next week, 7 p.m.
You heard it here. But until then, I'm Jesse.
And I'm John.
And you've been sitting at the grown-ups table. Thank you. Have an awesome night.
Night, everybody.
Night, everyone.